68 items exclusive list, which put the assets and the rights of the regions, of the SY regions, in the hands of the federal government, such that it is now the federal government that is giving back to the states that are created. The states have become mere appendages of the federal government, and even the simple matter of electing who will govern them. The INEC, there's no federation. Imagine you go to the United States and the people in California can no longer decide who will govern them. Somebody has to come from Maine or from Arizona to come to decide for them who will govern them. That's what INEC has become. 68 items on the exclusive list that makes it impossible for the federating units to generate electricity. Anybody who is telling you he's going to do anything about electricity, as long as that item is on that exclusive list, is either ignorant or dishonest. And I'm saying so.
That's about
tell you, I'm not taking that question from the sidelines. I'm taking it as one who has sat with him across the table, leading a delegation of those who have been on the transaction of restructuring and the reconstruction of the damaged foundation of Nigeria for many years. In 2016, at the time he began to raise his voice from the north as one who believed that such should be done. We went to him and we tried to find out from him what he meant, what he understood by the restructuring he was talking about. He, of course, told us his own, from his answers, it was clear to us that the restructuring he was talking about began and ended with amendments to Constitution. And that is the opposite of what the situation requires. We then put on the table what the restructuring meant, that we must go back to remake, that the first order of business is to accept that we have not made a constitution.
Right.
And I'll come back to that point in a short while. That if we put that constitution, just like the apartheid constitution of South Africa, was it by amendment that it was cured? There was a master servant imposition by the Boers against the owners of the land. The others became servants in their own land. That's exactly what Nigeria fell into from the point, constitutions got imposed on them, in which they became second and third class citizens in their own places. And if you want to understand how what it is the two of them are missing in all of what there's, including the National Assembly that is pretending now that they are the ones to make constitutions for us, the mandate of the National Assembly does not include constitution making. The mandate of the National Assembly given to them by election, is one in which they have to make laws according to constitution.
Right.
Back to so we don't miss the track of what we were discussing. We had these sessions with Atiku, and we came to the understanding that it is to put aside that imposition. The thing that must be cured is go back to the preamble to the Constitution. You will see that it starts with we the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria having solemnly agreed to live as one indivisible, do hereby make and give unto ourselves the following constitutions. There are two things contained in that preamble, that we, the Ijo, we the Ogoni, we the Tiv, we the Doma, we the Fulani, having consulted and discussed amongst ourselves, hereby make and give ourselves the following constitution. Like a company that shareholders and promoters are putting together. The first thing is for them to agree. There's the memo and the article. There are two different documents. The memo is where ABC have come together to say we shall form ourselves into XYZ Limited. It is after they have done that they will go to the second question of articles. What will happen in the management and control of ABC, that XYZ Limited? Right. That's exactly what the Constitution does for a country. And what we have in our hand is a situation where what we agreed have been toppled, and what is written came from imposition that came from way back 1979.
All right, we need to go on a break.